And a vowel, please.
Anthony.
And we want a big, big word out of that. David.
I'll stay safe with an 8.
Oh, I see. So that really means you have a risky 9, do you?
Yes.
All right, well...
But I won't declare it.
No, OK, fine. Well, you're staying safe with an 8. Patrick?
I'll try 9.
You're going to try 9?
Yeah.
That's terrific. That's terrific. OK, good man. So let's hear the 8.
Beatings.
Beatings, OK. Well, in any language, that's pretty good. Beatings, but Patrick?
Breasting. Breasting.
Breasting, he's saying, for 9 letters. Breasting. Yes, come on, what's the verdict?
Yes. Yes.
It's there, that's 18 points. What gave you the, as it were, any sort of inspiration for you to say that, Patrick?
It's Eve's at the side of it.
No, come on. That's
I want to help in any way I can.
Yes, well, he really went for bust on that one because it was Anyway, look, that is the first 9-letter word we've had on this series, so that's terrific as well. It's got him 18 points because you get double with the 9-letter word. So that's put him in the lead, look, 37. So well done to Patrick. That's excellent. Very good. Phew. Now then, let's gather our breaths and move on to round number 7. Letters game, Patrick.
Vowel, please, Catherine.
A.
And another, please.
O.
Consonant, please.
N.
And another consonant, please.
And a G.
Vowel, please.
I.
Consonant, please.
Y.
And another consonant, please.
A T.
And another, please.
D.
And a vowel.
Which are visually illiterate. The Italians, the Danes, everyone on the continent knows more about design and presentation than we do. Here's Portugal, for instance.
Porto e Vila Real com 28, Coimbra com 39, também 39 em Porto Alegre. Lisboa foi das localidades onde menos choveu.
Do you see? Good design needn't cost a lot. And now we know where Lord Lucan got to. In Italy, they are rightly proud of their language's profound beauty.
Catania 22, Reggio Calabria, Messina e Palermo 20, Pescara, Napoli e Bari 19, Roma, Catanzaro, Cagliari 16, Venezia, Genova, Ancona e Alghero 15, Bologna, Firenze e Pisa 14, Trieste, L'Aquila, Campobasso e Potenza 13, Milano, Torino e Perugia 12, Bolzano e Verona 9 gradi.
Which of us wouldn't be glad to give up the heritage of Shakespeare and Dickens just to be able to speak like that? But it's to Scandinavia that we turn for simple, functional design, clarity, and peculiar boomerang-shaped depressions over the Heligoland bight.
Venter vi at kartet skal se ut i morgen, og det medfører altså regn i Troms og Vest-Finnmark i ytre strøk, og sludd over indre strøk.
Extraordinary. But where else could we possibly go for really adventurous weather reporting than to the USA?
You think it was hot last night? You're right. The overnight low, 78 degrees at 6 a.m. At 4 a.m. it was still 80. Hello, North Brunswick. Got a big happy anniversary here and a real big one. Al and Mary Harakini. They are striking gold. 50 years married, and they are loyal Channel 9 viewers. We appreciate it. Why is it so miserable?
Quite mad. The extraordinary thing is that with such intrinsically interesting weather, they feel the need to behave like that in public. In England, it's not so much the heat as the humility. Our own weather is essentially drab and uninteresting, so a man truly keen on his subject is bound to look abroad for the exciting stuff. Here's Francis Wilson.
Spare a thought, though, for down in Brazil, where 10 people died, 3,500 made homeless by hailstones the size of tennis balls out of this line of cloud right across Brazil here. That's the elbow of Brazil, the equator's up there, and there's plenty of thunderstorms embedded in it. Really quite stormy weather. Shanty towns just demolished.
Francis Wilson represents a new breed, of course. Breakfast television opened fresh vistas for weathermen as personalities, not persons. They could talk to guests and present other items. Francis Wilson possesses that particular kind of fey charm that appeals to the housewife audience, so long as they know there's nothing really unpleasant behind it. As if a long marriage wasn't enough, he has led bodybuilding sessions on television to prove his masculinity. But it was Pamela Stevenson who gave us the ultimate proof.
This sea fog lurking about up the Irish Sea. Hello. And sweltering temperatures over most of England. It was very, very dull up here for most of this week, but today, a lovely hot day. Going through the sequence, isn't she nice? 12 o'clock, you see that? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, isolated thunderstorm, go and lie down. 6 o'clock, I'll get to the end of it, don't worry. The winds today, we can lose us from the screen now while we continue, are very light and from the west. And top temperatures, sweltering hot.
Bless her naughty socks. The purists amongst you, the meteorologists, farmers and cricket lovers, may be wondering where the weather has got to in all this. Well, let me tell you, it was never...
On Thursday, done my best. He could have done more, though. Bloody undertaker. Money I paid him.
Wasn't many turned up.
No, it wasn't the best of turnouts.
There'd have been more turned up if it had been him we was burying.
Thursday at 8:30.
Newsnight will be starting in 5 minutes on BBC Two. We've more Chinese cookery with Ken Hom in half an hour on BBC One after some stand-up humour from America introduced by Jasper Carrot.
This is Emo Phillips, who does a wonderful impersonation of a sloth. In fact, he makes a sloth look like Sebastian Coe.
I understand the Sebastian Coe, but what's a sloth?
A sloth. It's like a koala bear, only dead.
Well, thank you, Jasper. Certainly nice to be here. I didn't know what to wear. My mom said, Emo, why don't you wear your grandfather's nice dress slacks? So I grabbed a shovel. Lost a little muscle tone. Oh, boy. This is really exciting. If someone would have come up to me 10 years ago and told me that tonight I would be here taping a special for the BBC, I just would have stared at him because I was on medication at the time. But it's nice to be here in New York City. I got caught in one of your famous traffic jams today. You know, the guy behind me's honking, beep, beep, beep. Can't you do something about those stinking fumes? I just kept walking, you know. Bologna. It's an exciting town. Walking down Fifth Avenue, and I found a wallet. And I was going to keep it rather than return it, but I thought if I lost $120, how would I feel? And I realized I would want to be taught a lesson. So I kept it. Oh, boy.
Never do laundry with skinny women either. This will really piss you off. It will, because they like to take their little Barbie underwear out of the dryer. Then they hold it up in front of your face and fold it like this. Then they put it in their pocket and take it home. I'm standing there going, well, just grab that end and walk toward me, okay? But at least I'll never be anorexic. I don't even understand anorexia. That don't make sense. They won't eat. There's no cure. Aww. Why don't they just give anorexics marijuana? I bet you in about 10 minutes she'll beat your behind for a sandwich or something. But I'm not advocating drugs. You have to be careful with drugs. They do strange things to you, which some of you know about. Others have read. You know who you are. I like to get drunk, though. Alcohol's a drug. I like getting drunk. All the way up until throwing up time. That's when I start saying real stupid things like, I shouldn't have had that last one. Like that's the one that did it. The first 17 I had don't count. How many women here like to make love in the morning? Come on, tell the truth. Okay, now how many like to be awake when it happens? Isn't that the best? So much better than somebody poking you in the butt at 6 a.m. Stop it. They all make that same stupid noise. Stop it. Go back to sleep. Better yet, go pee. And brush your teeth. Why do men think all good-looking men are fags? Women don't think all good-looking women are dykes. They're bitches. Everybody knows that. You ever notice that the people that give you the strangest looks are usually the strangest looking people? They are, and they follow you around. They always look at you like it's your fault they're ugly. They do. They bother me because they find each other. Then they insist upon having these little ugly children. Keep this stuff going. And they have the nerve to be proud of those little ugly babies, too. They just shove them in your face like normal children. You ever tried to smile and look at an ugly baby at the same time? You can't do it. You just stand there, you go. He looks just like you. I like ugly men, though. I do. I noticed that a couple of you feel the same way. Oh, now. You know who you are. And when the lights come back on, everybody will know who you are. You have to like ugly men, though. because they won't leave you alone. They're the most persistent people on earth. They follow you around and ask you stupid questions like, well, what's the matter with me? Mister, I don't have time to tell you all the things that are the matter with you, but let's start with that checkered bell-bottom suit. And it'd be nice if you had some teeth. And that scratching don't help at all, okay? It's not nice to talk about ugly people either. But so what? They don't complain. Nobody ever comes up to me after a show and says, I'm ugly, I didn't like that. I wish they would so I could say, you're right, and I'm sorry. You learn stuff about yourself, though. Now that I'm older, I find that I'm beginning to appreciate things like the value of naps. Naps are wonderful. You know, I'm going, what was I fighting all of this time? I love naps now. Sometimes I have to take a nap just to get ready for bed. I also find that I've acquired a taste for things I never liked before, like younger men. But I'm only 32, so younger than me is about paperboy age. No, son, I want my paper delivered inside the house from now on, okay? Don't argue with me. I have cookies. Younger men are fun to date. They are, because, as we all know, they might not be able to do it well, but they can do it often. And I can teach you the rest. Some people say older men have more endurance and can make love longer. I say, let's think about that for a minute. Who wants to make love to an old man for a long time? You know, it's like, come on, Pops, let's get this shit over with now. No, don't start that wheezing. Let's go. Only thing wrong with dating younger men, though, is that you have to listen to their music. And this will make you stupid. It will, and it's bad for me because I think I'm hip. You know, I watch Solid Gold. But I hear this stuff and I have to ask myself, when did I become my mother? I sound just like her. Turn that shit off. Play something with some words. Get a job. Anyway. I watch a lot of TV because I don't have a job. Now, besides this one, and I'll be through in a minute. I have time to watch TV. I like to watch soap operas. I like the commercials they have on soap operas because they have commercials just for women, which are great. Because they make no sense whatsoever. They don't. They're fun to watch, though. Cause I know you've seen this one. Hi, I'm Kathy Rigby. And I don't usually talk about feminine hygiene. You do every time I see you, bitch. I must have missed your speech on Libya, huh?
A lot of hot mamas here tonight. I'm quite handy with the ladies. I'm a great lover, I bet. What's your name?
Olga.
Olga. Never got this far before. Olga, you're a live one. But still, I think I'd manage. Yeah. You know, I saw my girlfriend the other night, which always puts a strain on the relationship. She's very sexy, you know. The other night I said, when we first met, how much love did you have for me? She said, 0. I said, and how much now? And you know what she said? 1 billion times that. Well, I don't know. I said, what do you want for your birthday? She said, I don't know, surprise me. Just give me something crazy and expensive I won't even need. You know, so I signed her up for radiation treatment. I think I'll lose the deposit, you know. The other night, she said, Emo, I'm seeing another man. I said, well, try rubbing your eyes or something. Well, the next night, I caught her in bed with this other guy. I was crushed. I said, get off me, you two. The other day, I was making coleslaw. You like coleslaw, Olga? You don't? Look hot, Mama. I'll make you coleslaw that will melt in your mouth, tickle your throat, soothe your stomach, tickle your throat, and melt in your mouth again.
During my spare time, I like to go see a lot of horror films, and one of my favorite horror films is called The Boogans. Has anyone here seen The Boogans? Just me again, okay. It's so bad, it's really funny. You really should go see it, but be warned when you go see it, it's not like the book at all. Interesting thing about The Boogans, though, it's a nice, refreshing change from most horror films, because the Boogans were monsters. And you see, most horror films are psycho killers. You know the old thing, the guy, when he was a kid, he goes to summer camp, and the kids give him the lousy bunk, so he has to come back 20 years later to kill everybody because they gave him the lousy bunk. So, you know, it's a change from that. The Boogans were monsters, but they didn't spend a lot of money on the monsters. They look like Muppets on drugs, you know. But we're supposed to be afraid of them, and we'll buy that to watch the rest of the movie so you won't feel too bad about spending so much money. And you're watching it, and it has that part where you know something's going to happen. The two women are left by themselves in the cabin, and one woman goes, I'm going to go to town and get some more supplies. Are you sure you don't want to come with me, Susan? No, I'm just going to stay here all by myself. What could possibly happen? Well, gee, I don't know. The movie's called The Boogans. We haven't seen one for 20 minutes. What could possibly happen? Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. First person to die. And the Boogan monster comes right through the floor, a solid oak wood floor, like it's a piece of paper. Like she's in the kitchen. She takes a pot off the stove. Going, get away from me, you monster. Like, it comes through the floor, a little pot's gonna stop it now. Like, you know, what's the Boogans gonna do? Oh, no, they got Teflon. Oh. So, she dies, deservedly so. And, the other woman comes back from town with the 2 bags of supplies. They say supplies right on it because we couldn't figure that one out. All of a sudden, it's a Sesame Street movie, and she opens up the door. She sees this trail of blood leading to a large hole in the floor, so she follows it. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Next person to die. I mean, by this time, you start rooting for the Boogans. Give me a B, give me an O, give me another. They deserve to die. They're morons, because in reality, if any one of us was in a house and this psycho or the monster had just cut off the heads of the 4 biggest people we knew in the entire world, and from the other side of the house we heard a noise that sort of sounded like, I don't care how many of my friends are upstairs. Screw them. Out the window, down the road, into the next country, like the Roadrunner trees coming up behind me. I hear one violin. I'm out of there. I love the people in the films. They always act the same way. They know no fear. I was like, hey, gang, what was that noise? Come on, let's go check it out. Let's go die, let's go die, let's go die. Hey, the flashlights don't work. Let's go in the dark. Let's go die, let's go die. But first, let's split up.
Yeah. Bill, Barbara, Sue, everybody take a separate path.
Oh, yeah, and the guy in the wheelchair, you're going on that way all by yourself. You know, I hate the way they exploit the handicap. You know, there's always that one guy in the wheelchair, and he knows he's going to die first. Man, he's like, I know I'm going to die first. I don't see why I have to go meet this guy. He'll find me, just follow the tire tracks in the mud. He'll find me. Sure enough, there's some psycho with a chainsaw. As far as a horror film that did what it was supposed to do, which was scare me, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre came pretty damn close. Keeps me out of Texas, that's for sure. Based on a true story, I'll work here, thank you. There's only one good thing about a chainsaw is you can hear it coming. You got about 100 yards to get yourself out of there, you know. I mean, with a gun, somebody can sneak up right to your head, you know, surprise, oh, no, I'm dead. You know, chainsaw, until they start putting silencers on chainsaws, we got a shot. Another interesting thing about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was why none of the actors were nominated for their Academy Award acting. They're going down the road, they run out of gas. I think we're out of gas, dear. Oh, 12 Oscars over here, please. 12 Oscars. Brilliant acting. We'll be seeing you in a lot of other movies. And the part where the wife suggests we should go look for some more gas, the best part. Why don't you try that old abandoned house over there? Yeah, the one with the blood on the door? Sure, I left my brains in the trunk. I'll go. The guy goes up to the door, knocks on the door. No one answers the door. So what do you do if somebody doesn't answer the door? You walk right into the house. Hey, I wonder what's in the basement. There's a psycho in the basement. Where's it going to be, in the patio with lemonade? I mean, what? Oh, God, what do you want from me? Get your head cut off for a nickel. Come on over. Neon sign psycho lives here. I mean, how much of a clue do you need here? But they continue to put these films out. It's just amazing. They make tons of money, and they're laughing all the way to the bank with these films. Interesting phrase when you think about it, laughing all the way to the bank. When's the last time you saw somebody laughing all the way? I mean, sure, you go to the bank in a good mood and everything, but that dissipates as soon as you get there. Because what happens? When you go to the bank, you just can't walk in like a dignified human being. As soon as you walk into the bank, you're reduced to being cattle. Because to get to the teller, you got to go through one of those stupid obstacle courses. Can I have my money now? All of it. Yeah, all of it. What is this, a maze? There should be a little piece of cheese at the end, you know. Oh, thank you. I hope I've done my part for cancer research. Thank you. Yeah. What is this? But hey, when you get to the top of the line at the bank, you got to keep your eye on every one of the tellers. See which one is open first. Like... Because if you miss one, everyone behind you, there's one open over there! I didn't see her. She's around a pole. Do you mind? Take some money out for an ear operation, please. Thank you so much. And I love the tellers, because their only purpose in life is to serve you. Some of them really get off on that power trip they have by being able to turn around that little sign that makes you go to some other teller. Boy, they get off on that. I mean, you know, they should have realistic signs. They should have a sign that says, open till you get here. Every time. As soon as you get there, like, oh, where you going? Hey! Then you try to get back in line. Everybody's going, no, you went for her. No. Nobody saved your place. Get up. So, you know, therefore the popularity of all these instant cash cards now, because people don't want to go through all this. And I feel sorry for the people that don't have the cards, because they still have to go to the bank in their regular hours. And I think the funniest time to go to the bank is 5 minutes before closing on Fridays, because you catch people who didn't make it in time. It's so funny, boy. 5 minutes before closing, bank managers, you know, letting people out, nobody in. Then it's exactly closing time. He's like... One second after closing time, you catch people on the other side of the glass that didn't make it. It was like... It kills me. On the other side of the glass, there's the manager going... Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh, the wind from your applause. Good evening. I would like to start out by doing a couple of impressions for you. My first impression is that of a garbage truck at 6:30 in the morning. Get the job, man. You don't bull in the morning. Get the can. Say, man, you make sure everybody be sleeping. See? Good. I know what you're waiting for. You want to see the typewriter impression, right? That's okay, I'll do it. Hey, typewriter! Correctable! Don't worry about this. This goes away in about a year. I was reading something kind of interesting today. I read a little census on what the little poll on what the most hated musical instruments in the world were. Any idea? Accordion's number 2. Bagpipes. Bagpipes. I don't dislike the bagpipes myself. I just think they're kind of a weird instrument. What gets me is somebody had to invent the thing. Right? Some guy had to say to himself one day, let's see if we can invent some sort of an obnoxious musical instrument. Something real disgusting. Something that really pisses people off. Let's see what happens if I blow in a vacuum cleaner. I think this is a good time for my impression of the Titanic. This is a hotel towel. These are free. Oh my gosh, I rubbed my face off. Where's my face? Scared you, huh? I used to do that to my mom all the time when I was 10. Actually, I don't mind being bald. Oh, no, really, girls like bald guys. We look like dicks. So there's all this subliminal stuff you don't realize. For example, I didn't used to wear ties, but then I figured out, look where they point. Listen, before I go any further, I'd like to do one little thing here for you. That was it. A lot cheaper than buying drugs.
Stand Up America came to you from the comic strip in New York, where you saw Emo Phillips, Mike McDonald, and from the Improv Club in Los Angeles, Marsha Warfield, Bill Kirkendall.
We now take you over to Carnegie Hall cafeteria, where Rondell Sheridan is about to start tonight's performance.
Question, if you don't mind. How many people here have black friends? Do you? Can I ask another question? Where are they? Whenever I get cars, I get in trouble. I was in Canada not too long ago. I almost got thrown in jail. And I'm not making this up. They had handcuffs on me. They're trying to push me in the back of the police car. Problem was, I had never been to Canada before. I did not know that these people were on the metric system. Now, if you don't know what this means, they do not have miles per hour in Canada. They have something completely different called kilometers. And if you don't know this, a kilometer is about half as much as a miles per hour. For example, if you're doing 20 miles per hour here in the United States, you're doing roughly 40 kilometers in Canada. Now, I swear to you, I did not know this, never been there before. I'm in my car, I'm doing the speed limit, I'm doing 55 miles an hour. You hear me? 55 miles an hour. The moment I get to the border, the first thing I see is a sign that says 110. I'm flying down the expressway. My hair blowing in the breeze. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I see a sign that says slow to 80. Children crossing. I'm thinking, it's the least I can do. Those kids can't run that fast.
Actually, when I was a teenager, I didn't really get along with my parents. You know, who does? Pretty much the only thing I ever said to them when I was around 15 was, "Hang up, I've got it!" Oh, because God forbid my mom should answer the phone before me, and as a friend of mine, it was so embarrassing. This is my mom answering the phone when I was in high school. Hello? Who's this? Oh, hi, Barbara. How are you? Want to talk to Kira? Well, make it quick. She's got a lot of homework to do. Okay, hold on. I'll see. Kira? Are you here? Yes, I am. Hello. Hi, Barbara. Yeah, I know. I hate her, too.
I had to go to France a couple years ago, and I told this friend of mine, I said, I'm going to France. He said, France? Well, that's like 15,000 miles away from Los Angeles. Big time difference. You'll have to set your watch back. So what I did was I put that sucker right about there. Didn't do a damn bit of good. Kind of screwed up my tan. I lose track of time. I really do. You ever do this? You ever go into a bank and you want to write a check and you have no idea what day of the week it is? You go, what day is it? What's the matter? You been shooting up Clorox or bleach all week? There's only 7 days. We don't mix them up or change the names. Well, I get confused. And get a job. People with jobs know what day it is. I like to go up to people at airports, look like they've been traveling a lot, have no idea what time it is, and just do this. Just go. Excuse me, sir, but have you got the year? Sometimes they'll give you their car. This is really useful. Everybody should learn how to do this. If you're in a real bad neighborhood and you think you might get mugged, just walk through the neighborhood like that. Go, nobody will mess with you. They'll leave you alone. Freeze. Whoa, stop. Whoa, whoa. Skip it. I always do this when I go pick up my car from my car mechanic. I go, how much? Free. I hate car mechanics. You know what car mechanics do that nobody else does in the world, in the business world, and they get away with it? They change the price. Right? They change the price. Nobody else changes the price. You don't go into a restaurant, order a steak, and then the chef comes out and goes, well, it was a lot harder to cook than we thought it'd be. So it's $5 more. Oh, okay. What day is it? Like my bag? Got that in Texas. Texas, they got a lot of cows they don't know what to do with. We call it leather. There's no such word as leather. We made that word up so we wouldn't have to say, dead cow skin? How come they charge so much for things made out of cows? They're not dangerous and they're real easy to kill. Shark, alligator, I'll pay you some extra money. You're risking your ass. But this is a cow. Moo. Bang, you're a belt. The hunt is over. Let's go back to the lodge, boys. Kill that damn cow. Son of a bitch tried to bite me. And you don't have to track them down. They're always sitting in somebody's little fenced-in yard. It's like, let's track them down. they're in the yard. Moo. Bang, you're a hat. Well, they say moo. I think that's what gets them killed. Otherwise, they're pretty boring. Cows are boring. Look who their best friends are. Flies. It was a dumb name, Fly. I think man was kind of lazy the day he named flies. Birds fly, call them birds. Bees fly, call them bees. Flies, he just went, what's it doing? I gotta go. A fly. That's what it's doing. That's what we'll call it. We don't call fish swims, do we? I guess a fly without wings would be a walk. This is going to pressure my impression of an Eskimo going to the bathroom.
Let's see. Socially, I'm single again. You have to do that when you're single. Go like that. Yeah, my husband and I split up. I was married for 4 years. I was really hoping, though, for my marriage to last 5 years. Because you know what the gift is for 5 years? Wood. Wood. Look in the etiquette book. I swear, wood. Honey, I know you had joy in that fur coat, but heck, you're so special. I got you 20 yards of 1x8. Say it with lumber. We lived together before we got married, and I'll tell you why I did that, because I'm a tramp and I have no morals. Now, my wedding was great, though. If you're getting married, I made a couple mistakes, though. Like, I let a friend take my pictures instead of hiring a real photographer. Got my pictures back. Everybody has these little red eyes. Looks like Wedding of the Damned.
I'm from New York City. Yeah. Thanks. Well, let me ask you. I look like a New Yorker, don't I? How about now? Now, if I change my name, I could just blend in, huh? My name, Aryan Wasp. I'm here for the Jesus rally. You think he'll show? I don't know. Even if I did that, I'd still have that New York aura. That's the attitude of James Dean with the looks of Danny Kaye. You know, I've been told if I fix my nose, I'd be very handsome. I don't want to touch this. It's been in the family for generations. The family crest is a handkerchief with a hole in the middle. I wouldn't know what to do if it wasn't hanging out there, you know? I've had a big nose my whole life. When I was a kid, I couldn't blow it myself. My arms were too short. It always seemed to bother other people more than it did me. Like I'd be at the beach, floating on my back in the water. Yeah. People screamed, leave the water. They thought it was a shark. I don't want to touch this because there's no reality in show business. I just worked with a singer who had a nose job, a facelift, and breast implants, and then he sang, I Gotta Be Me. I guess I sound New York, too. You're not going to believe this, but I've lost a lot of my New York accent. I realized it when I was back in New York a couple of weeks ago. I bumped into this guy from Brooklyn. I'm doing much better. I've started to use my upper lip. I bumped into him. He actually spoke to me like this. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey, you hear me or what? I never realized they use sign language. Hey! I think they have little horn buttons down there. Hey! Like if they don't touch, nothing comes out. Hey! My New York accent was much heavier a few years ago. In fact, the first time I ever left New York City and took a road trip, San Antonio, Texas, I had culture shock. I went to see the Alamo. Has anybody ever been there? I felt so good to be an American. You know those men who fought at the Alamo had incredible foresight? They built a gift shop right on the property. I almost got killed once because of my New York accent in a Mexican restaurant down there. I asked for a glass of water. Now I needed this water because it was my first time eating Mexican food. I don't like Mexican food. I don't like food that hurts. I live by this. If it hurts, don't eat it. That stuff should warn you the first time. Hey, what's this little green thing? Hello, I'm a jalapeno pepper and I'm going to kill you, gringo. I hate to waste money. I went to a Tina Turner concert once. I was looking forward to it. My wife and I sat next to this guy who ruined the entire evening for us. You know these people who love to sing but can't? So they sing along with every song. Even if they don't know the words, they make them up. I spent $80 to hear this guy sing, "What's a Glove Got to Do with It?" I do. I hate to waste money. I was brought up to save. My whole life, saving money was a way of life. I was brought up to find the cheapest way. Free is my favorite word. And it's a family trait. When Martin Luther King said, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last, my grandfather said, what store is he talking about? Because of my background, I had to go to therapy. And my therapist turns out to be money hungry. I told him I dreamt in color, but the picture was fuzzy. He told me for $23 more a month he can get me cable. Then he wants me to go into group therapy, so I go. That's a bunch of people that sit around discussing problems together. So I go in, me and one other guy, who turns out to be a multiple personality, who took his problem seriously. He had 4 mailboxes in front of his house. He was a manic depressive, a psychopath, a schizophrenic, and a catatonic. It was amazing to see him express himself. I want to die! I'll kill you! Do it! No, don't! From that experience, I'm suffering from reverse paranoia. That's the fear that I'm following someone. You know what therapy's helped me do, though? It's made it easy for me to tell people when they bother me. Like smoking bothered me. It's so wonderful to see people not smoking here. Because usually I work comedy clubs, and the people up front blow up enough smoke that if I click my heels together 3 times, we could all go to Kansas. If I did smoke, I would be a cigarette smoker because I'm not the cigar or pipe type. First of all, I think guys who smoke cigars look like cigars. They always seem to be these short, fat guys with scrunched up faces who blow out enough smoke to contact dead Indians in North Dakota. And then something scary happens to a pipe smoker. They stop using their necks. The pipe becomes a handle to move the head.
Does it ever happen to you? You go to see a group from the 60s who are not the originals? This always happens to me. I went to see the Temptations. The guys were white. Actually, last concert I went to see was like a long time ago. I went to see Carly Simon, right? Big fan of hers, great seats right up front. Show starts. Girl sitting next to me sang along with every song. Paid $20 to hear You're So Vain from Mona Fleischman.
How you doing? Good, okay. What energy that we have. Well, it's a thrill to have a chance to entertain people and become a big star in England. Just what my career has needed, by the way. As comedians, we don't always have TV cameras or glamour. I just came back from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm not making that up, where they booked me to play an old age home. Can you imagine this? I am not making this up. There was a woman in my audience celebrating her 102nd birthday. And in fact, at the end of the show, they brought in a cake to celebrate this event, and in a stroke of incredible misjudgment, they gave her these candles that you cannot blow out. A brilliant gag for a woman who had no concept of reality anymore. Blowing her brains out. And spitting all over the cake. It was disgusting. And then she cut a slice and asked if I would like some. And I said, I'm trying to cut down on saliva in my diet, but thank you very much. In fact, it's not cake now, it's pudding, thanks to you and your way with candles. 102. What would you buy a woman 102? 50 is gold, 75 is diamond, 102 is oxygen, something that'll help her breathe. And this was a comedy show. My wife's sister just had her first baby a couple of months ago, and I called her at the hospital the next day to congratulate her on her first baby. And you know what she said? Instead of being gracious, she said that she was in labor for like 19 hours. And then she said that men could not bear up under the pain of childbirth. And I said, of course not. The male opening is so small, really. To expect a big baby to come flying through an opening this small would be unbelievably excruciating. I don't care how many Lamaze classes you study. There's no way. Push me. Our parts are not flexible enough for this sort of procedure. Of course we couldn't bear up under that pain. It made no sense. And as I say, I don't deal with pain. Some people say there's a fine line between pain and pleasure. Have you heard this? This is sickness. What are they talking about? If I were to bang my thumb with a hammer, I would not get confused, thank you very much. I would not find myself saying, oh, this was incredibly excruciating, but so close to being remarkably stimulating. What a fine line. Maybe I could pierce my ears with a javelin and see if I enjoy it. Athletes play with pain. See, I don't relate to them. We have professional athletes, they put up with pain in a football game this year involving the New England Patriots. We had one of their linemen broke a bone in his arm during the first half. During halftime, the announcer said that he's expected to play during the second half, and the other announcer said, well, fear is not in his vocabulary. I'm thinking he's not only injured, but he's got a remarkably limited vocabulary. To not know the word fear by the time he's an adult is unbelievably stupid. I don't care how many people he can tackle. Perhaps if he had a more extensive vocabulary, he could say to the coach, I don't want to play. He could learn the word ouch. I don't relate to that. Running to me is painful. People who run for exercise, to me this is painful. And they claim they get high from running. Have you ever heard that? They get high from running. And I can see getting high before running so as to make running palatable, but I don't get high from running. And runners, they speak poetically about how wonderful running is. Evelyn Ashford, the fastest woman in the world, recently in an interview stated that running is better than sex. She said that running is better than sex. She said that, I'm thinking maybe I don't know how to run right. I don't get the same glow following a race. I don't see a connection. I can go months and months without a good sprint. And at the end of an evening of wining, dining, and romance, I don't try to weasel my way into a 100-yard dash. Either for that. But running is better than sex. I was in 7th grade. I worried about going blind. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Dribbling into your drink. You probably had no time for it. I did not get birth control counseling. I didn't deal with birth control till I was in college, at Queens College. And even at the college level, I was so nervous. My first trip to the drugstore, which every guy remembers. Well, they don't necessarily remember my trip. They remember their own. I need to imply this was documented on film or anything. I was so nervous, I bought a dozen. And you laugh, I still got 11. I lost one.
I try to get here early and try to get these things done at all the seats. See, I usually have to lay on top of girls to get them to make that noise. Anybody know what they call these things? Anybody know what they call them? Ass gaskets. Let me make this up. We have these, and a lot of people don't look at these things real close. In fact, this part right here is such a pain, you wonder how many people actually take the time to do it. I'll show you something you probably never noticed before. Unless you were as bored as I was at the time when I noticed it. You ever notice the hole in this thing is in the shape of somebody's head? It's like some guy in a factory somewhere has a job going. Sticking it neatly in the package. Here's a little scene from Bill's Vacation in Hawaii. How long have I been on the beach? Oh, a little too long, I think. Can I borrow your hat? I tell you, you know what the problem is? Have you noticed there are a lot more people running around acting like asses? Have you noticed this? Used to be a few years ago, you meet one, maybe two a day. Now they're all over the place. You know what I do? I'd like to be king. Be Kirkin king. It'd be great. What I do is I take a little census, take a little poll of everybody, and people that consistently acted like asses would have to go to a government plastic surgeon, and he'd make them look like one. Then you'd know right where they were. You go, okay, what ass did this right here? Fred, you're an ass. Come over here. Did you do this?
Oh, no, not me. It's not my fault. No, please don't fire me.
Whew. I don't usually sweat that much. I try to use those big 6'2" roll-on deodorants. You ever see those? The big roll-on. I'll show you what they look like. You just kind of think kind of like this. If I didn't do this, I think I'd work for the post office. Because they give you Valium when you go to work for the post office. Excuse me, could I have a stamp? I bought this the other day. I keep this in my car in case cops pull me over and go, "What are you doing in there?" I go, "What are you doing out there?" Well, you look a little bombed yourself. I was going to tell you the post office provides a free service a lot of people don't know about. It's a service for getting even with people you don't like but are too big to fight with. It's called the change of address card. All you do is you write down the name of the guy you don't like, then you write down where he lives, then you write down where you want his mail to go. I did this to the post office itself a few weeks ago. They got no mail. My impression of a pencil sharpener. I've been trying to exercise kind of recently. I've been jogging, but running's kind of boring. You end up talking to yourself. So I've been playing a lot of handball, and I bought a new racket today. You know what I like to do? I like to take one of these things to the park and give it to people's dogs when the people aren't looking. I threw a Frisbee. Where did you get that? When I drive around, I keep about 5 of these in my car. Because every once in a while, you run into toll roads or toll bridges. Or I like to drive through toll gates real fast. Throw this in the basket and go, ah! Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Thank you.
You have just been watching from the comic strip in New York, Rondell Sheridan, Carol Leither, Dennis Wolfberg, and across at the Improv Club in Los Angeles, Bill Kirchenbauer, Glenn Hirsch.
Cabot fights off the competition to host Stand Up America.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Joe Bolster, and I'll be your host for tonight's program. But before we continue, I'd like to introduce you to the world's least known person, Jasper...
No, I'll be your host for this evening. This is the comic. His name's Joe Bolster, and he happens to be very funny.
But it's good to be on the show, because comedy is a little slow for me now. I live here in New York, and I had to get a day job to kind of supplement my comedy income. It's an interesting job. I work with one of the local radio stations here in Manhattan. What I do is I get in my car during rush hour and ride around and report on helicopter traffic. It's going real good. See, I don't have a good car. I have a 66 Rambler. This is not a great car. In fact, the other day I took it for repair. You ever do this? You take your car for repair and the dealer gives you a car to drive while your car is being repaired. It's called a loaner. I've taken a 66 Rambler. The guy gives me an 85 Camaro. What's my incentive to bring it back? Certainly not the threat that he'll keep my car. The guy calls me up. Your car's ready. I'm not. I hope the 95 Camaros are good, because that's the next time you'll be seeing me. I like driving to Pennsylvania. See, in Pennsylvania, the turnpike there, they have signs that tell you how much a speeding ticket's going to be, depending on how fast your car's going. Have you heard of these signs? They're supposed to slow you down. They don't work at all. I'm driving by going, I can afford that. It got worse. I'm going 80. Some guy goes by doing 100. I don't want him to think I'm poor. I speed up. Pretty soon the whole highway's doing 160 because of peer pressure. People driving with one hand, throwing $20 bills out the window with the other. Keep the change, copper. Ha ha. And driving's hard enough without some of the things they have on cars. Have you seen these cars? They have that little side view mirror, has that warning. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Here's a nice thing to have working on your head. You drive 60 miles an hour, now you got to worry about optical illusions? Is that Mack truck a mile away, or is it in my back seat? If they want to challenge you, they should paint your windshield black and say, cars coming at you may be invisible. And I have fun trying to go into gas stations. For some reason, all gas station attendants call me Chief. Fill her up, Chief? To the brim, Tonto. And since I'm the chief when he's done, I leave without paying. I think we'll just let the tribe pick up the tab on this one. Sometimes you drive and you pass funeral processions. I was in a funeral procession about 2 months ago. I never knew this. Did you know funeral processions are allowed to go through red lights? Why? What's the hurry? Seems to me this policy just creates more business. First runs the red, hits some poor guy going through the green, bang, put him in the back. Stack him if you have to. See, I like to ride around here in New York and listen to these radio call-in shows they have, where people can call in and talk to a guy in the air. Doesn't it seem there's always one guy calling in who has no idea what's being discussed? And he always has some totally inappropriate comment to make. The host goes, we're talking about the Mideast crisis, the Arabs and the Jews, one of the most explosive issues of our time. We want to know how you feel. The number's 525-1200. Hello, you're on the air. Yeah, how much should a hamster weigh? Sir, I don't think that pertains. Yeah, but mine's up to 78 pounds. I think it might be a Wolverine.
It's nice to be here. Thank you. Got any black people here? Yeah. Yeah. All right. I like black people. I do. I got some cousins and shit. They're black. Only thing I don't like is when black people come to show and sit right down front. Suck up all the light. Pisses me off. White people reflect up. It's great to be black. Thank you very much. It's great to be black. They tried to come up with a black Trivial Pursuit game. It didn't work. Because they had about 40,000 questions and 3 answers. The first one was who the f cares? Second one was what kind of shit is that? The third one was what you asking me for? It is great to be black, though. Yeah, it is great. Everybody got together after the Grammys, made We Are the World. That was a great thing. Stevie Wonder was there. Yeah, Stevie don't show up unless it's a good idea. He's on that new song. What's it? That's What Friends Are For? You know the one. The one where Elton John looks like which one of these people don't belong. We got any fat people here? Come on, try and raise your hands. Come on. I like fat people. They're fun. They are. I like to watch them try on clothes. Anybody ever do that? Come on, tell the truth. All the women have. Because in clothing stores, they have dressing rooms with curtains that never close all the way. And you can see the fat people on either side as you go by. You know you look. You have to look. It's fun. It is. Everybody should do it at least once. Make it like a picnic. Pack a lunch. Then go to one of these big women's stores. They're easy to find, too, because they have names like Extra Miss, More Than a Woman, 3 Times a Lady. They have pictures of cows and shit on the wall. Oh, you want our junior moose department, huh? Well, stomp right this way, honey. Flop right down. Now, see, I'm a big girl myself, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is just success. Thank you. Now, I'm talking somebody weighs about 8,000 pounds on 1 foot. They all cheat. They all say the same thing when they try on a dress. They always stand in the mirror and go, I don't like this dress. This dress makes me look fat. No shit. And I suppose without that dress, you don't look like an elephant's ass, huh? It's remarkable. It's not nice to talk about fat people. Where did that come from? I'm not related to any of the fat people here. I'll talk about them if I want to. Yeah, because so what? They can't catch you. You can hear them coming. I'm going to kick your ass as soon as I get some rest. I don't mean to pick on fat people, though. I do like fat people. They are fun. It's skinny people I don't like. Skinny people piss me off. Especially when they say things like, you know, sometimes I just forget to eat. How do you do that? I have forgotten my address, my mother's maiden name, my keys, my money. I have never once forgotten to eat. You've got to be a special kind of stupid to forget to eat.
You know what's great? I took my parents. I was back in New York last week. She's talking about old Jews. I bring my parents to a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. Now, I thought old Chinese were the most annoying people in the world. We go to this Chinese restaurant, and all these old Jews sitting around talking about, like, how sick they are. I had a heart attack. Well, I've had 3 heart attacks. Well, I have no heart. I'm dead. Okay, Uncle Saul's dead. He's dead. He wins. It's one dead Jew that beats 4 strokes. Game's over. All right? What are you, a seal? This is the best. So we get it now. I love Chinese people. I am amazed that anybody talks Chinese. You ever listen to them talk? The Chinese language, it's like if you listen to them, it's like, that's like the words will just fade away. It's like they just talk till they run out of breath. I don't know how this works. I got no more air. Well, take a breath, like your friend talk. Then he breathes, then you talk. Then you breathe, then he talks. You take turns, all right? I'm back in New York. We go to the Chinese restaurant. This Chinese waiter comes up to the table, and the guy barely understands English, let alone old Jew English. My mother's sitting there trying to talk to this guy. I don't want pork. My mother sounds like Jerry Lewis. Pork? Is it pork? Caroline, what? I don't want pork. Is it spicy? I don't want spicy. I don't want pork. Yeah, what do you want? Spicy pork? Yeah. Yeah, lady, we have, here, look at menu. We have all kind of pork. No, I don't want pork. I don't want spicy. What, you definitely want... Yeah, what do you want, pork? Yeah. No, no, it was like Godzilla versus Rodan. Where? Yeah. Back in, you ever get a Chinese waiter you ever try to talk to a Chinese waiter and you can never get a straight answer out of these guys? Sir, it says on the menu, chicken with vegetables. Are they spicy? Are they sweet and sour? Yeah. The spicy vegetable. Oh, spicy vegetable. Yes, spicy vegetable. Yeah. Are there crayons in this? No, you have crayon. Yeah, crayon vegetable. Yeah, you everything. Crayon vegetable. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know your head's on fire. Yeah, your head on fire. Your head on fire. A crayon, a vegetable, everything. Yes, sir. Okay, partner. Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for the help, pal. You know, like I said before, I was just on the road for 3 weeks, and I came home the other day. I walk in my house, and my video recorder taped 3 weeks worth of shows. My phone answering machine took 3 weeks worth of calls. I got a smoke detector, a fire alarm, a burglar alarm, a self-cleaning oven, refrigerator makes ice cubes by itself. You know, I get this feeling one night I'll walk in the house, and the house will go, hey, look, pal, we don't need you anymore. In this country, I don't know how many of you know about this, but I was just in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and they've got a gay bank. People magazine did a big story on this, about a gay bank. They're opening one in LA right here. It's called Atlas Savings and Loan. It's true. It's a bank for gay people. Now, I've got a lot of gay friends, and they would say, Bobby, do you have to do cheap gay jokes? We're just like everybody else. Yeah, fine. You're just like everybody else. Now you have your own bank. You don't see like banks for Jews or blacks, but now the homos got their own bank. The hell are you going to get in a gay bank? Well, checks don't bounce. They skip. Yeah, okay, that's great, pal. Yeah, you want to borrow money for a sex change operation? Well, why don't you fill out one of our homo improvement loans? Just sign right in. You go to high school, and you got to take a language. I grew up in the Bronx, and I took Spanish, because I figured Puerto Ricans speak it. How tough could it possibly be? Wait, speaking of Puerto Ricans, remind me, let me get back to the Chinese. Yesterday I watched West Side Story. I'm sure you've all seen this movie a zillion times, all right? Remember the scene in West Side Story where the guy's running through Spanish Harlem? Now, we're talking Spanish Harlem in New York. And he's yelling out, Maria! Yeah, only one woman comes to the window.
I tried water skiing. I don't like that a whole lot. To me, that's just a rich man's enema. The idea of water going up my ass at 45 miles an hour. I skydived. I went skydiving in Atlanta. One of the guys I went skydiving was blind. It was great. You ever hear a German Shepherd scream at 10,000 feet? So I'm glad the holidays are over. They always suck. Hate New Year's Eve. You got to kiss people on New Year's Eve you normally wouldn't spit on. You ever go to somebody's house and the food sucks real bad? It's real hard lying with food coming back out of your mouth. I found a way to combat that, though. When I go to somebody's house, I look at the dog. If the dog's real fat, I don't eat. So this is what I do for a living, think of stupid things. It's my job. Come up here and work for 15 minutes, then I have 23 hours and 45 minutes to kill. Tough gig. You know what I did yesterday? I took a hairdryer and made toast. Killed 4 hours right there. There's a lot of tough jobs. One job I know I wouldn't do well is be a waiter. Look at me. You think if you asked me for a cup of coffee, I'd be right back? Not a chance. You know what job I'd like to get? I'd like to be the guy that pulls the switch on the electric chair. There's a great gig. You walk in, it's like, I'm finished. You want a little overtime, you get a dimmer switch. So I guess you figured it out by now. I live alone. I like living by myself. It's great. Women live alone differently than men do. Women buy things you don't need, like a cover for the toaster, sheets. I bought a cordless telephone. I can't find it. I bought a VCR, then realized I never watched TV, which means I paid $800 to have a clock in my living room. I bought one of those little Sony Watchman TVs that fit right in your hand with remote control. My next-door neighbor has a metal plate in his head. Sometimes I take the remote control and change his mind.
I need a nickel. Well, bring it up, honey. Here's a nickel right here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I'll give it right back. My father used to say to me, he'd say, Kippy, never put nickels in your nose. Well, that was fine with me as long as I was living under his roof. But now I'm an adult. I do as I damn please, ladies and gentlemen, and if I want to put nickels in my nose, I put nickels in my goddamn nose. Now, who the hell is hurt? Certainly not me. Thank you.